Hi, this is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. This is part 2 of X-Men Annual number 3, The Awesome Attack of Arkon. And if you aren't just excited about this comic, then go, I banish thee. Okay, so this is a... let me get to the page. It was just too big, too incredible. I took 20 minutes talking about the first part. If you missed it, you go back. It's in here yesterday, and I wanted to talk about part 2. I think there's 3 parts. Okay. Oh, this is part 3. Okay, so this will be the last part. Look at this splash page. This is George Perez and inked by Terry Austin. I just gotta get in close. Just look at the detail. All the dragon heads and monsters on this column. Notice the coloring. Everything has color, but not everything is super detailed. Look at that guy. Look at the shield. Dragon heads. It just shows you the and here's the X-Men teleporting in. This cloud, lightning. It looks like it's just so much detail. To be honest, I could have used a little bit more color to bring out the detail, but it looks like, you know, like an Asgard world or something, like a D&D world, which it kind of is. It's like the X-Men travel into Dungeons & Dragons fantasy world. Which brings me to a point that I was thinking about all day when I was driving in my car. I had kind of a long commute. So I was thinking, I keep hearing, like on Twitter and everything, that X-Men was always political. Yes, there was politics in the X-Men. You know, Stanley himself said, but when he created the X-Men, he made the mutants only because he was tired of coming up with origins, and them being born was just a cheat. And then he realized he tapped into like the civil rights era of the time and made it like about persecution. So to say that it's always been about politics is kind of true. However, it's not always about politics. Look at this comic. This is Dungeons & Dragons meets superheroes. There's no politics in this. This is a flat-out battle between Space Conan from whatever and the X-Men. There's no persecution issues. There's no identity politics. This is just flat-out. And look at the other X-Men annual. It's Dante's Inferno. They go to hell to save Nightcrawler's soul. I'd say for every 20 X-Men comics, one of the issues was about persecution and identity politics, stuff like that. The rest of it was space whales and Magneto trying to raise an island and to get money, or demons, or the Tsar Empire invading and stuff like that. It's been adventure comics with one of the many themes being politics. So, rant over. Let's enjoy this comic. A wreath of superheroes. This is the holiday offering. A set of wheels. What is this, a model? The best model. Yeah. I got a few models as a kid, and I'm too impatient. These days, I'd probably get back into modeling. I'm more patient and I want to take things slower. But back as a kid, I just wanted to play with toys. Look at this panel. Is Wolverine being a tough guy with the claws to Arkon's face? I sure hope whoever's in charge here speaks English. I'm Cyclops, leader of the X-Men. Arkon, your Imperium is our prisoner. We'll exchange him for the woman you kidnapped. A life for a life. Now. They ain't kidding around. And here, this is an outrage, you know. Warriors attack. And I love that. He just backhands them. Just hits them right in the jaw. They're all outraged. Cyclops is going to show them why they're superheroes. And here is Wolverine just going nuts. Tell me that guy wasn't murdered. Go ahead. I know Arkon is the Imperion. He's the superhero of this world. Is that guy? Because he just got clawed in the face. That guy was murdered. That guy was murdered. Claws right in the chest. Come on. And then Cyclops is just blasting that guy. That guy was hit with a Mack truck, because that's what the equivalent of his I-beams are. And here's Colossus. Colossus, you know, he could control, I don't know, is he murdering that guy? Probably not. You know, Colossus is the gentlest. And then Nightcrawler leaves, because Nightcrawler leaves. And here they are, scooching around. A lot of dialogue. What's going on? We can't give in. You know, this guy's got spells, and complete your spells as quickly as possible. I'll do my best. You must do it, Vizier, as long as you succeed. And here, X-Men just look. Colossus is enraged. Viking guy, Wolverine's just slashing everything, and this guy's going down into the darkness. Oh, who's that? Nightcrawler's gonna redeem himself, and Cyclops just blasted everybody. And I love how there's like a space along here, because here you got this immovable object, and then Cyclops. People don't realize how powerful he is. This is a freaking Mack truck that he could just point in any direction, and it doesn't seem to exhaust him. I'll get back to that theme, but he never really seems to run out of energy. Look, I just love the beams getting smaller, smashing stuff. The Perez principle of debris falling everywhere, and now they're just running down the hallway. Cyclops is just like, guy, zap. You know, here's Arkon out of the rubble. With this Viking guy, I guess we'll use the secret passageways. We gotta get to the captive. Here's Rom, the Space Knight. This is one of the few occasions they made Parker Brothers made this toy. I call it an in-action figure because it really didn't move too much, but and I think they asked Marvel Comics to make a comic to help them sell the toy, and it was a good comic. The licensing on Rom expired, so whenever they refer to Rom, they just call him the Space Knight, because Rom is trademarked, but the word Space Knight isn't. So here they are just running around like they don't know where to go. They're just causing havoc with looking for Storm. And it's these four guys like, what the hell? So Nightcrawler did the only smart thing, is he followed... I know I've been giving Nightcrawler crap, but I actually love Nightcrawler. It's just for comedy purposes. Another thing, I talked about the willpower and restraint of Cyclops. Notice it shows up in his costume. His costume is very reserved. Yeah, can you see his costume? Yeah, his costume is very reserved, and it's still the blue and yellow from the original X-Men #1. He hasn't changed much. He's not thinking about a new costume. I think that's just a nice touch to show that he's still retaining the original colors of, I think it was supposed to be black and yellow, but because of the limitations of the printing process, it was like blue and yellow. And maybe this is supposed to be a black costume too. I don't really know, but I in my mind it's always blue and yellow. So here he's riding this D&D monster out of town. The Vizier, Nightcrawler still followed him. This is one of Nightcrawler's lesser known powers. In the shadows, he's invisible, and it's not like he blends in, because they literally showed his hand disappearing in a few comics. I haven't read any new recent X-Men, but it's like one of his forgotten powers. He could cling to walls, he could turn invisible in the shadows, and they just do the eyes so that we know that he's there. Okay. Sashia, all in readiness. So they're running it. She's got this globe and anything. We gotta go. Must she die? None. She accepts her fate with the courage of an Imperial. Must she die? I fear so. Not if Nightcrawler can help it. I don't see many guards. Getting Aurora out of here. What? It can't be. Storm? And there's Storm. Dressed all cool like a Viking person from Arkon's homeworld. As you wish, if you don't be afraid, I will do what must be done. Although it will most cost your life, it is my life to give. What? So, here she is talking to everybody. And note that Storm is very tall in the comics. She's like 6 foot, I don't know, 6'3", 6'4", but she's towering over these people that I think like Arkon's people are supposed to be tall. I must be hearing things. Storm's helping her captors. Why? Bamf. And then bamf, he grabs her cape. And bam, her cape should do the trick with the element of surprise. plus the fear of confinement should produce a pretty spectacular reaction. So, they set up everything at the beginning. Summon the warrior. So she freaks out. Whoever you are, away. Nightcrawler. Oh no. So she panics a little bit because she doesn't like the confinement. I don't know if they ever bring that up anymore. And she shoots a lightning bolt. So Nightcrawler was pretty tricky. Lightning bolt coming up. That lightning bolt made me think, you guys, I just spotted Storm. We got to go get there. Consider it done, little comrade. Uh-oh. So look at that. Tell me that's not cool. Colossus went and grabbed one of these winged beasts. And they're shooting them. Spring! So they have firearms as well as swords and sorcery. So this is just a conglomeration world. Here's Cyclops punching while shooting in the face. And I love that. They're riding away. They see Storm's lightning. And Colossus is just... Cyclops is just... get rid of people. And Wolverine, what is Wolverine? He's hanging on the bottom. Go back, my friends, or you may be harmed. This tempest is almost out of control. So she panicked and caused a storm, and it's causing problems in this atmosphere. What should we do? So they come to this platform, and the sky's all stormy and bad. And I cannot explain, there's no time. No, not without you, babe. And he's pulling in the claws. Or popping them out, I can't tell. He goes, she came here, she agreed to help. And he's like, all right, maybe you should start talking to us. If you want to help, you got to give us a reason. Okay, I got to sound casual. Bluff Arkon into believing we're still at peak strength. What can we handle anything he throws against us? So they're getting tired. Okay, which I kind of like the limitations they're given. They're not walking gods. So he explains that their world, I think it's in another dimension, D&D dimension, but their light source is this ring of plasma that rings. So they're like a rogue planet, meaning that they don't orbit a star. But for whatever magic or magic science or whatever, there's a ring of energy plasma that lightens the planet. And the planet, the plasma died out. And at one point, Thor, God of Thunder, hit this magical MacGuffin, and it restored the energy plasma. So I guess it's magic. Okay, we'll call it magic. And it died out. And now without light, there's no photosynthesis. Without no photosynthesis and without heat, they're going to starve and freeze to death. So they couldn't find Thor, so they asked Storm to help out. See, they found Nightcrawler. He's all right. Nightcrawler has been through some damage. And Scott Baio showed up to help. And Farrah Fawcett and James McNichol. Oh, and Tattoo showed up. I love that. He doesn't get a real... Everybody else gets their real name. Kathy Bauman, Robbie Benedict, Dirk Benedict, Scott Baio, Farrah Fawcett, Whiskers the cat. Even Whiskers the cat gets its real name, but he gets Tattoo. He's not Hervé VHF. Kawasaki mini bikes. I loved it. The 70s was so much fun. At the beginning of the comic, they advertised guns and motorcycles. There should be beer and cigarettes on the next page. So they're showing the magic device, the magic scientific device. Because here it looks bad. Because I'm a tinkerer, sophisticated I'm a tinkerer, but sophisticated electronics is way out of my league. What do I know? So they need Storm to summon lightning, channel the lightning, and then blast it into the thing. But that'll kill her. So he's like, I got an idea. So Cyclops look, again, he's a good guy. So here's Colossus. He's holding her up. The electricity should pass through him. It's kind of silly because it looks like they're on Earth. I don't know, electric. It's magic electricity. So she's summoning and pulling lightning out of the sky. And minutes pass, it goes through Cyclops. And this machine is, I think I skipped a page. Okay, I didn't skip a page, so they must have explained it in this. But this machine is faulty, it's breaking. And it needs to be done precisely. And Storm, she has lightning bolt powers, but it's not like she has laser powers, so it's kind of a little sloppy. So what they're doing is she's summoning the lightning and blasting Cyclops. Yarg! And he's taking all the damage. Cyclops, for those of you who don't know, His skin cells absorbs solar radiation and ambient energy and turns it into his optic blasts. Ta-da! I'm a comic book nerd. I know that stuff. And in this darkness, his cells were drained. So he even said it the last time. He goes, that pretty much is the end of my optic blast. I ran out of energy. Again, I love the wonderful limitations on all the superpowers. Something that made them more relatable and human. You kind of don't see that anymore. But that's one thing I've been saying since the beginning of this channel, is that power creep happens. Superheroes always get more powerful. So Storm pulls the lightning out of the sky, blasts Cyclops. He's freaking taking damage over here. He's screaming, but his cells are pulling in all of this electrical energy. And then he's storing it up. Look at him. He's on his knees. And just keeping a while. He just fought. I'm sure Wolverine murdered a few of these people. They just fought their way here, and now he's risking his life to help them, because the whole planet's on the verge of extinction, because the X-Men are good people. You know, they get mad, but they help out. So these two are like, look at Cyclops, he's in a lot of pain, cut it short, blah, 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 blah. They're bickering. So he's like, okay, Nightcrawler's tinkering with the machine. There's Wolverine with his claws doing whatever the hell he's supposed to be doing. Hurry, hurry, hurry. You know, he's holding it together. Wolverine, he goes, then cover, lets the fireworks. So now he blasts his optic blasts, and they're white with I guess, the electrical. And they said it says the eyes of the Winds of the Soul. So if so, what does that say of the soul of Scott Summers? Now, they made a big deal of showing how much of a control that Cyclops has over his eye beams at the beginning in that danger room, when he pulled it narrow and then pulled back so that the energy just pushed the button rather than destroying things, to show you that he has supreme willpower over the power of his blast. So he's focusing the energy into the magic device. The magic device does everything, explodes and fires up and restarts the plasma. Yay, we have light. Everybody's bathing in the light. Yeah, our world will live. Everybody's happy. All this destruction over here. Is that Arkon? Arkon laying down. Where's my friend? Arkon, you live. It's a miracle. The light's going on. And here, you know, some time passes. Look, they all got new uniforms. So here they are dressed like Dungeons Dragons characters. Look at that panel. Look at that panel. Dragon Rider over here. It's the Grand Vizier, Arkon, you know. And I kind of like, just look at that. Look at this. Arkon, we are friends with the X-Men, you know. This is a new era of friendship and nobility and blah, 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 blah. Because sorry, Conquest really isn't the X-Men's line of work. I don't know, Scott. Wouldn't you like to be the first barbarian to wear horn-rimmed glasses? And to the X-Men, my dimensional transport bolts brought... Yes, so they are in another dimension. And then he blasts them back, and that's the end. Just so good. Look at the, out of the costumes. They later on established that, because they, you know, retrofitted them later, that they gave the X-Men a bunch of these yellow bolts. In one of the other comics, they use the bolts again. So here's an advertisement for ROM. This is the actual first page of the ROM comic, by Bill Mantlo and Sal Buscema. Sal Buscema was like Marvel's workhorse. He just got assignments and worked. I think if the story, he just took everything as a job and wasn't particularly interested in comic books. And I think he was one of the you know, in the late 60s, early 70s, he was like one of the first comic book creators to make like over $100,000 a year. He was like a legend, and he worked fast. He didn't complain. He took every job. He did a competent, professional job. He had no emotions. He didn't really like comic books. He wanted to be like a fine artist. And I met John Romita Sr. I went to his house. We had lunch one day, and he said that Sal Buscema yelled at him once because John Romita Sr. was erasing, and he goes, "You don't have time to erase. You got to." He goes, "If you want to make the big money, you want to buy a house, you know, every line you draw, use it somehow. Cover it up with something else, but don't erase." And Bill Mantlo, I already said, wrote one of my favorite comics of all time, the Micronauts, and then he suffered a traumatic brain injury. I think it was a car accident, and he perished in an assisted living facility. Very sad story. There you go. Sorry to end that on a downer. Some Legos. So here you go. That was X-Men Annual 3. Ah, so good. So good. How could you get better than that? Such a good comic. I don't know where it's collected or anything. I don't know the price of this if you want to get it, but I get a back issue. This belongs in everybody's collection. It's so much fun. And again, for all the people that say the X-Men always had politics, yes, it's true. There always was politics, but there always was adventure, swashbuckling, daring do, all this great stuff. And the politics was just one ingredient in the X-Men casserole. You know, sometimes when you stuck your fork in that casserole, sometimes you got politics. Most of the time you just got daring do and adventure and swashbuckling. You know, some people just so obviously never read these old comics. But there you go. That's the X-Men Annual number 3. Such a good comic. Highly recommended. I love this. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for liking my videos. And see you around. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, but I got some big shoes to follow with this one. All right, bye-bye.